Whatever you have to do, however long it takes, promise you'll find your way home.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're looking at burning questions that Furiosa answered, and questions we still have about the Mad Max saga. Beware the following spoilers.
Ready, steady, go!
Number 5. Answered. How did Furiosa become an Imperator?
Remember me?
In the Fury Road tie-in comics, it's revealed that Furiosa was brought to Immortan Joe for breeding. After she was found to be barren, Furiosa rose through the ranks, earning the title of Imperator. This is somewhat retconned in George Miller's prequel film. Joe initially accepts Furiosa in a trade, intent on making her one of his wives.
I will take this girl, otherwise it's war. Deal.
However, it's never confirmed if she's barren. Furiosa thankfully manages to avoid having sex with Joe or any of his allies. For years, Furiosa lives in the Citadel under the guise of a male who cannot speak. The truth eventually comes out.
I'm Furiosa!
The darkest of angels.
With Furiosa bringing down Dementus and the biker horde, though, she proves herself more valuable as a warrior, paving the way for her to become Imperator Furiosa.
If you find him, he's mine.
Number 5. Unanswered. What's Dementus's backstory? In the opening act, we learn that the biker horde kidnapped Furiosa as a child, and their leader, Dementus, is responsible for killing her mother.
Oh, she's your mother. Perfect.
Yet we know little about who Dementus was before Furiosa entered his life. It's suggested that Dementus's family was slaughtered and all that remains is a teddy bear. Of course, Dementus also claims that Furiosa is his daughter at one point, which we know is a lie. So nothing Dementus says should be considered the gospel truth.
Tomorrow, I'll follow the tracks that brought you here and I'll take you home.
While the bear is more than likely connected to somebody he lost, it's unclear if Dementus was ever a sympathetic figure. Maybe the death of a loved one sent him down this path, but we bet that he was always this power-hungry and bloodthirsty.
Bring me your leaders and throw them down. You will rule with me in the splendor of a new wasteland.
Number 4. Answered. Where did the organic mechanic come from? Fury Road was full of characters who left us asking, who is this person and what's their story? While Furiosa appropriately keeps the focus on its titular heroine, we do get a mini backstory for one supporting player.
Perfect in every way.
When Dementus arrives at the Citadel to negotiate, Immortan Joe wants 2 things. 1. Furiosa, and 2. The organic mechanic. Fury Road fans will recognize the organic mechanic as the doctor who delivers Joe's babies with less than desirable results. It turns out that he was originally a member of the biker horde, although Dementus doesn't think twice about trading him. Between Furiosa and the organic mechanic, it's emphasized that Joe wants a healthy son, which seemingly no one in this wasteland can give him.
Get it out! Get it out!
Number 4. Unanswered. How did Immortan Joe rise to power? With the film exploring Furiosa's origins, fans wondered if we'd also get to see a young Immortan Joe establish the Citadel. When Furiosa and Dementus arrive at the Citadel, though, Immortan Joe has already ascended to the height of his reign. Also, young Joe doesn't look much different than older Joe. It's like the guy never ages, and we don't necessarily mean that as a compliment.
Where is she taking them?
A long way from you.
It should be noted that the comics have delved deeper into the villain's backstory, revealing that he was once Colonel Joe Moore, a soldier who earned his immortal name after capturing an aquifer. Within the continuity of the films, however, Joe remains something of a mystery. A mediocre mystery. Sorry, had to say it at least once.
Mediocre!
Number 3. Answered. How did Furiosa come to the Citadel?
My mother. She was magnificent.
After watching her mother die and being imprisoned by the biker horde, Furiosa refuses to give up the location of her home, the Green Place.
Plant this seed. Protect the green place. Give me this one gift. Promise.
Dementis loses interest in the Green Place upon learning of the Citadel. When taking over the Citadel doesn't pan out, Dementis exchanges Furiosa for a patch of land. While Furiosa knows neither option is ideal, she'd rather be at the Citadel with her mother's murderer.
My mother. My childhood. I want them back.
From there, we see young Furiosa go from a reluctant breeder to a Citadel worker trying to maintain a low profile to the road warrior we know her as. Furiosa never forgets where she came from. Before she tries finding her way home, Furiosa seeks to free the Citadel's enslaved wives first.
You want to get through this? Do as I say.
Number 3. Unanswered. Is Dementis dead?
He took it all from me.
It's implied that Furiosa could have gotten her vengeance against Dementis in a few different ways. According to the narrator, Furiosa told him what really happened. Taking him back to a cave at the Citadel, Furiosa merged Dementis and the seed her mother gave her. When we last see Dementis, he's nothing but skin and bones as a tree grows out of his withering body. One might assume that Dementis wasted away to nothing by the beginning of Fury Road's events. Since Furiosa wants to make Dementis pay for stealing her childhood, though, perhaps she kept him hanging on by a thread, making him feel every year he took from her. Whether or not Dementis met his demise, it appears he's pushing up apples.
Furiosa! We've come too far.
Number 2. Answered. Why does Furiosa shave her head? Charlize Theron suggested that she shave her head for Fury Road, finding none of the other hairstyles worked. Since Furiosa is constantly engulfed in action, it made practical sense to keep her hair short. That's presumably why Furiosa cuts her long locks heading into the prequel's climax. That's not the first Furiosa goes bald.
There will always be war, but to get home, Furiosa fought the world.
Being introduced to the other wives, it doesn't take long for Furiosa to realize she's a target. This marks the first time Furiosa cuts her hair, which she weaves into a wig. Furiosa uses this headpiece to give her assailant the slip, going into hiding as a boy. While Furiosa looks equally badass with a full head of hair, her shaved look sends a bold message not to mess with her. Number 2. Unanswered. Seriously, how old is Max? As Furiosa treks through the wasteland, a man with a familiar vehicle and black jacket watches from afar. Although we don't get a good look at his face, it's clear who this is.
What's your name? What do I call you?
George Miller confirmed that this prequel occurs 15 years before Fury Road, but the Mad Max timeline still has us chronologically confused, especially considering Max Rokitansky's age. The first 2 Mad Max films supposedly took place in the 80s, while Thunderdome occurred a decade and a half later. It's been said that Fury Road is set around 2050. So by the time he meets Furiosa, Max should look more like an elderly Mel Gibson than a young Tom Hardy. Assuming this is the same Max. Like most legends, it's hard to pin down specific details. Number 1. Answered. How did Furiosa lose her arm? Furiosa's mechanical arm in Fury Road added another level of mystery that made the character all the more fascinating.
3,000 gallons of gasoline, just like you asked.
Charlize Theron claims that Miller told her how Furiosa lost her arm, but she didn't let the secret out. 9 years later, we see Furiosa's arm practically torn off after clashing with Dementis in vehicular combat. Dementis chains Furiosa up by her damaged arm while he makes Praetorian Jack's last moments painful. Knowing that the same fate awaits her, Furiosa detaches herself. Furiosa not only abandons her arm, but also the map of the stars she tattooed on her skin, making it even harder to find the Green Place.
This place, at the end of your map of secrets. I want to help you find it.
Returning to the Citadel, Furiosa picks up a shiny new toy for her final round with Dementis. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Unanswered. How did the green place descend into waste?
Who do we have here?
She's from a place of abundance.
Fury Road builds to a powerhouse moment when Furiosa learns that the wasteland as she once knew it is no more. In the prequel, we see the Greenland at its most prosperous before Furiosa is taken. Beyond this initial scene, no further insight is provided regarding how this land of abundance became just another hopeless wasteland.
Protect the green place.
All we know is that the water turned poison, the crows came, and by the time Furiosa found her way back, only 7 Vovolini remained.
The soil.
We had to get out.
We had no water, and
The water was filth.
it was poisoned. It was sour.
And then the crows came.
We couldn't grow anything.
There are still a lot of unspoken details about the society's collapse. In any case, the green place lives on through Furiosa, who plants the seeds of rebellion and grows a new home where her enemies once stood.
Do you think there's still somebody out there? Sending shows?
Who knows? Those are the plains of silence.
What questions do you still have? Do you have any answers to share? Either way, let us know in the comments.
Remember me.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.